I was fortunate enough to, after I commanded the Ranger Regiment, to go on and serve as a general officer. When I was assigned as the deputy commander of U.S. Southern Command, I just left European Command, and I'd gone to Miami to be the deputy commander, a command I was very familiar with. I'd spent 11 years in Latin America. I'd commanded the Army Forces for Southern Command. I'd lived in Brazil. I'd lived in Colombia for 2 years. After I'd commanded the Ranger Regiment, worked in the embassy there. I lived in Panama for 3 years early on as a Special Forces officer. I sort of spoke Portuguese and Spanish, so I was very comfortable going into that position. So the commander charged me with going around the region, developing relationships, and really trying to see where we were going with the command beyond the fight on drugs. At the time, this was 2009, going into 2010. And Colombia had been very successful in the fight against drugs, and there were a lot of other problems that we were facing in the region. One of the things that we were also responsible for was having forces ready to help the nations of Latin America respond to natural disasters. So in January of 2010, about 6 months for the hurricane season for that year, I went on was planning to go on a 10-day trip throughout the Caribbean and Central America to talk with ambassadors and members of those nations' government and military, if they had a military, about a variety of challenges we were facing in the region. And one of the things I was going to talk to them about was their preparedness for the upcoming hurricane season, and if they needed assistance, what that might be. So I left on the trip on January 10th. I went to the Dominican Republic, spent a few days, and then flew over to the western side of the island of Hispaniola and landed on the morning of January 12th, 2010 in the International Airport Port-au-Prince. Met up with the ambassador. We met up with the Prime Minister and others to spend the day with them. And then at the end of that day, I dropped off 3 members of the staff that was with me at a hotel, and about 2 blocks from there went with the ambassador to his residence. And then about an hour later, at 4:53 in the afternoon, the 7.0 earthquake hit Haiti. And I was with the ambassador at the time, sitting on the back porch of his residence when the earthquake hit. And it was immediate effect was like an explosion, a large explosion going off right next to you. It basically shook us out of our chairs. We stumbled on the backyard. We literally had to get down on our knees. His residence was swaying back and forth like a palm tree in the wind. It didn't collapse, but we could hear explosions all around us, which were collapsing multi-story apartment buildings and hotels. And basically, this earthquake killed over 220,000 people and injured 300,000 in a city of about 3 million in less than a minute. Obviously, many of them were killed or suffered from injuries in sort of the aftermath, immediate aftermath of that. We deployed a large force into Haiti. And this is where I think, relationships in the Ranger community really demonstrated to me that just how connected we are. As we were contemplating with the commander of U.S. Southern Command which force we deploy into Haiti to help Haitians respond, I called a friend of mine who was a Ranger who commanded the 18th Airborne Corps, Lieutenant General Frank Helmick. And I asked Frank, where is the Corps Assault Command Post at the time? Do you have the capability to get them here quickly? He said, well, they're already packed, actually getting ready to go on a training exercise, so it'd be easy enough just to send them to Haiti, which is what was decided that we would do. Leading that Assault Command Post for the 18th Airborne Corps was Major General Dan Allen, who was my operations officer a few years earlier in Desert Storm as Captain Dan Allen. And then we deployed in the 82nd Airborne Division Rapid Response Force, Global Rapid Response Force, which was 2nd Brigade, the 325 infantry. And it turned out, the brigade commander, two of the battalion commanders, and a number of the company commanders were former regimental officers and numerous NCOs. So as they flowed into Haiti, it was, we talk about all the time, putting ad hoc teams together, and that was certainly the case in Haiti. We put an ad hoc team together to respond to the earthquake, but it was only ad hoc in the sense that we were coming together rapidly, but we already sort of knew each other. We already knew from that standpoint. Even if I didn't know them, we had sort of a common thread of what we all represented and what we were there to do. And what I also found is the paratroopers, whether it was paratroopers in 82nd Airborne Division or the Marines that were deploying in, how adaptable that our military had become, certainly since 9/11. So as these troops deployed into Haiti, Dan Allen and I, or other leaders from our Joint Task Force Haiti, would meet them, and we would tell them, okay, obviously this is not Iraq or Afghanistan. You can take your body armor off. Security is a concern, but we need to provide humanitarian assistance through the outreach of an open hand, not through a barrel of a gun. And we need for us to portray that visibly, because we have a history with Haiti that is not necessarily looked on as favorable from all corners in Haiti. So we need to demonstrate to the people that we're here to help them, first and foremost, and that they recognize that. And they received us with open arms.